to the banter. I'm Timmy.
I'm Jimmy.
And here we are doing the actual season premiere of the NHL banter. So we got a whole shitload to talk about. We're going to try and condense it down for you guys because RJ there, he says that some of the previous banters have been kind of carrying on and whatnot. Hey, that's what we do. We just sit here and talk shit about hockey. So first, let's start with our favorite team to pick on. The one and only Vancouver Canucks. They're sitting 6 points out of a playoff spot at the moment with 78 games played or something like that. Oh, excuse me. Woo! Yeah,
Going
right.
from 2 franchise goalies to none.
Yeah.
In, 9 months?
Yeah, give or take 10 months, 9 months, something like that.
Can't be 10.
Yeah.
It's not till June.
Yeah, so about 9 months. About 9 months, they've gotten rid of 2 franchise goaltenders.
Yep.
Good job, Gillies. Tortorella seems to, when he lost his cool there, it seemed to have really affected
His team lost respect for him.
how this team played. You know, they were at least holding a playoff position.
I
Prior
think
to
the biggest
that.
thing is that coaches always talk about players being held accountable for their actions and being able to keep their emotions in check. And here this coach goes ballistic when, you know what, yeah, they're going to stand up for themselves and say Calgary's 4th line was on.
Yeah.
Tortorella sent his 4th line out. He sent his players into a situation he knew what was going to go down.
And at the end of the day, I mean, blowing your fucking shit lid on the bench is one thing. Lots of coaches do it. Fucking Patty Waugh did it in his first game of fucking coaching in the NHL.
I consider the benches the ice still.
Yeah. What happens there stays there. It was
Yeah.
when he stormed the locker room, I'm betting a lot of his players were like, what the fuck is this guy doing? We can handle this on the ice. He
Yeah.
obviously doesn't think we can handle this on the ice.
No. I think the biggest thing that players realize is Tortorella isn't here for this team. He's here for his own vindication.
Paychecks, you know, he gets $2 million a year, one of the highest paid fucking coaches in the league. He's got a 5-year contract.
Yeah,
You
they're gonna have to. They cut him. They're gonna have to pay him out $8 million.
Well, and this is what the question is. Do they get rid of Gillies? Do they get rid of Tortorella? Do they get rid of both? Or do they keep them both? What do you think after this one season, 2 years removed
Well,
of a Stanley Cup final appearance, after one season of shit in the bed completely, what do they do? Where do they go from here? Is it time to rebuild?
if they're taking a shot at Connor McDavid, then you keep both of them. You keep Tortorella doing whatever the fuck he does, and you let Gillies to continue to obliterate your fucking team. Yeah, you'll be guaranteed Connor McDavid, but it's gonna be the Connor McDavid show with biting Burrows,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be about it.
Well,
So,
the Sedins have been absolutely invisible this year. Do they keep the Sedins? Well, the question's out there, you know, not just the coaching staff that should have to suffer. There should be some
No.
players that feel the fucking heat and wrath of this too. And should it be the 2 go-to guys who will pull them in a shitload of draft picks and prospects right now? But if they wait too long, then all of a sudden they end up with a fucking Calgary Flames, Pittsburgh Penguins deal. Nothing taken away from Ben Hanowski or Mark Kanduri.
I don't think it's gonna happen. They'll only move together, and what, they both signed 7-8, 7-6?
Something like that, exorbitant amounts of money.
So that's...
But do you think that they
15
still have top 5 play in them? That's the real question.
Oh, do they have top five play in them is one thing. The other thing is, are you willing to tie up $15 million of your salary cap?
Well, I mean,
That's a quarter of your salary right there.
Minnesota did it.
And look how Minnesota's fared.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, Minnesota has done it. Anaheim did it with Perry and Getzlaff, right?
Yeah, but both those guys that fucking...
You always need that 1-2
had an
punch.
Olympic gold and the Stanley Cup
Yeah,
before they were signed to those kind of big money, big year contracts.
yeah. But, you know, those two go into a team, you know, and we always talk about you always need the 1-2 punch
Yeah.
for fucking goal scoring. Those two go to a top defensive end team. Now they have the offensive punch of the Sedin sisters. You know, do they get reinvigorated in a new city? Is what I'm really getting at here.
I really don't think so. You look at the league and teams aren't really coached in a hybrid. You got teams that skate and shoot the puck, or you got teams that keep you to the outside and shut you down. There's no real hybrid in the league. It's a hard way to coach, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're complicating shit for your guys. You're making them think, offense or defense,
Yeah.
right? Coaches like to set one. Look at LA. Look at any team that's coach. It's defense first. Play your forward and your offense how the fuck you want.
Yeah.
You play defense the way I tell you. Right? They're not a high octane, high scoring team, but they've won a Stanley Cup. They win a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Even look at Nashville. They play from Barry Trotz. Defense first.
Yeah.
Play your forwards and your offense however the fuck you want, but you play defense the way I want you to play defense. Again, not a powerhouse fucking team that blows you out of the water with tons of goals.
Yeah.
Up to the previous 2 years, they were a highly competitive organization.
Yeah, they're not making the playoffs this year.
No, neither
But-
did they last year.
You know, look, we were speaking about them getting rid of 2 all-star goalies. Let's talk about Roberto Luongo here. All right, gets invited to the Olympics, still as a Vancouver Canuck. Wins gold as a backup goalie.
Yeah.
You know, that's not exactly saying anything against him, but Carey Price definitely stood on his head in that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the end of the day, did they handle Roberto Luongo properly?
No.
And I say obviously not, because they traded Schneider.
Yeah. And that's where they fucked up. I understand you're not going to roll over for a player who, quite frankly, hasn't really done anything for the Vancouver organization in
Yeah.
terms of titles and trophies.
Yeah.
He played a lot of good regular season games for him. He did one deep drive into the playoffs for him.
Yeah.
And other than that, yeah, his team didn't show up in those first rounds, but he wasn't exactly on his A game in those first rounds.
And he
either.
wouldn't play the whole first round either. You know,
Yep.
they'd always put Schneider
and that's
in
what
as
it
well.
comes down to. Like,
He's a good goalie, but since 2006, 2007, Roberto Luongo ranks second in almost every major goaltending category.
yeah.
All right, as amongst active goaltenders.
Okay. Yeah.
Amongst active goaltenders, okay? And, you know, I mean, he's had some good teams in front of him. You know, they've done well in the fucking regular season, just like you said. He's a good regular season
This
goalie.
year before he got fucking traded that he kept him in it, and they just didn't show up.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I, from the beginning of the year, didn't believe that Roberto Luongo's heart was even playing.
No.
Playing for fucking Vancouver, right? You know, they didn't really give 2 shits. About,
No, but I think, and I hate this motherfucker, this BC Wop, but I think out of all of it, it came down to him wanting to still entice teams, right? Because if he becomes a sour little fuck,
Yeah.
Florida's gonna be like,
And this is what's going
I
to
got
get...
a lot of young guys, and I'm not gonna set the example for these young guys that if you're a sour fuck, you gotta go wherever you want,
Yeah.
right? So,
I think that this is what is going to cost Gillies his job. This only situation and scenario that's happening in Vancouver. Not them missing the playoffs.
No.
Not all the fucking monkey sideshow that's going on.
I think he
It's
will be held responsible
100%.
for Tortorella.
It is 100% for fucking trading away those goalies. For not keeping Corey Schneider. Convincing management that it would be better to trade Corey Schneider because we can't get a first or 2 firsts and a fucking prospect and a fucking roster player for Roberto Luongo right now.
Yeah.
Maybe at the trade deadline we'll be able to pull something like that off. And then no disrespect to whoever they did get in return, but at the end of the day, it was not what they fucking wanted.
No.
You talked to Vancouver last year and they were asking for everything in your farm. Alright? Now it was like, well, we'll take a look in your bronze cupboard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Tell you what, you give me your first, and I'll take something off the third shelf.
Yeah.
So-
Exactly.
But I honestly think that Gillies played himself into a corner with that.
Oh, and
asked
he did.
asked for so much, wasn't even willing to budge on shit.
Yeah. But other GMs were just like, I don't give a fuck. Quite frankly, I don't need
That's what it
Roberto
was.
Luongo.
The rumor is that Gillies basically was like, this is my deal. You give me this, and you can have Roberto Luongo. There's
Yeah.
no counters, there's no, how about this?
Yeah.
This is what I want.
So does Vancouver make the playoffs?
No.
They're 6 points out.
No.
They have as many or less games played. And I honestly, I don't see them
You
making the
got
playoffs
Dallas
either.
and Phoenix, and they're both very competitive teams. And
Yeah.
Dallas is playing
And Dallas is playing Phoenix. They got 4 games left or something like that, and Dallas and Phoenix play 1 or 2 more times in that time.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I really don't think so. There's like 4 games left in the season.
The odds are not in their favor.
They're at 79. They need 86 to get into 8th as it stands right now.
Yeah.
So they need 7 points.
Yeah, as a possible 8.
They're 3.5 games behind.
Yeah.
And they got 4 games, possibly 5 to get it done.
Yeah.
I really don't think so.
They're not
honestly, and
especially with the sideshow that is happening.
Not even that. If they had Roberto Luongo or Corey Schneider, I'd say hold on to your seats.
Well, yeah, Lack isn't exactly ready for a number 1 spot.
No, and he's been thrusted onto the fucking carousel that's going on there, and he's like, okay, here we go.
So from one joke to another joke, the Edmonton Oilers. Another disappointing year. The kids are not all right.
No, and you know what? As much as I hate the Edmonton Oilers, and I do hate the Edmonton Oilers,
there's a lot of resentment there, most definitely.
It's
If
sad.
we had Gretzky, it'd have been a different story.
It's the same as Montreal. They're not the Flames. We have a bit of rivalry with them, but up till this previous decade, they had won at least 1 cup in every single decade that they played in. Right? And that's a piece of Canadian history that keeps hockey Canadian. Right?
Yeah.
And a great storied franchise like Edmonton is the has-been, the team Gretzky played for.
Yeah.
The team Gretzky played for.
And I feel for their fans. You know, when you got fans coming down and fucking throwing fucking jerseys. And you know what? Oh yeah, the NHL players want to sit there and talk about respect. But at the end of the fucking day, us fans pay money for these jerseys.
For those seats.
Alright? For those seats. For our hats. For our jackets. For those tickets. Season tickets. All that shit. We fucking pay for that. And if we want to walk down to the fucking ice level and throw our jersey on the ice in disgust, we have every right to do it.
Yeah.
You have every right to throw it back into the stands, because I'm sure the fan would be regretting it a week or 2 or, 5 years later, one or the other. But at the end of the fucking day, it is our right as your employer to let you know how we feel.
Yeah.
So when that fan did it in Edmonton twice this year, and a fan did it in Calgary too, an Oilers fan.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even during an Oilers game, but they just wanted to let the league know. We're not putting up with this shit either down here.
And look, it happened in Ottawa a couple seasons ago, and look what Ottawa did.
Yep. So
he's being tossed down there, although they're in a sticky situation themselves. But
the end of the day, again, you got to look at some management, right? Like I think Craig McTavish is a fucking moron.
Oh, Craig McTavish is a moron. I think number 2, fucking Daryl Cates. Daryl Cates needs to keep his fucking money grubbing hands off fucking hockey operations.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's happened now in the last couple of years. Well, especially this past year.
Well, Daryl Cates likes to fucking put himself in the media. He thinks he's the Canadian Mark Cuban.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And
but
as far
I
as I'm
found, like,
concerned,
with the Flames, too, even you look at the great franchises, the fucking Detroit there, fucking Pittsburgh, right? A lot of them, their owners are hands-off.
well, Illich is very fucking hands-on with his team.
But he's not the type of guy who's going to go in and tell his management team who to draft.
No.
He has faith in the guys he's hired to do their jobs.
Yeah.
Whereas I know for a fact that final call comes down to Daryl Cates. Where those
When in the end of the day, you should be. And that's why you have fucking, presidents and presidents of hockey operations.
You
and
look
GMs
you
and
go
shit
back
like
and
that.
look at the Stampeders. Look when ownership gets their hands on fucking
and decides to do it how they want to do it.
Call
Stampeders is the CFL, folks. In case you're an American and you don't understand what we're talking.
Long
about.
story short, ownership decided to coach. Coach decided son was going to play starting quarterback and barely
played
had
high
it
school football
as a fucking third stringer in high school.
Yeah.
So, long story short, it was kind of embarrassing for a little while being a Stampeders fan.
Yeah.
Like, really embarrassing.
But so with the Oilers here, they're starting to put some building blocks into place that might be something. There's no guarantee. It's just like drafting first overall for 4 fucking years. There's no fucking guarantee. But Scrivens and Fast seem to be 2 good young guys to kind of fucking lay your future on. Maybe not fucking next year, definitely not this year, right? But
Yeah.
after that.
The shitty Flames lit them up for 8.
Yeah.
Anyways, that aside, I think Eberle, good draft.
Yep.
Hall, good draft. As much as I hate his attitude, he plays with intensity and he's a good hockey player.
He's a decent hockey player, yeah.
3, Hopkins, good draft pick. After that, they should have traded that fucking pick
For Yakupov.
for
Yakupov.
Yakupov,
Yeah.
or gone and grabbed fucking Murray.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they fucked up. They're like, oh, you know what?
Again, that's Daryl Cates.
Yeah.
I can almost guarantee
Yeah.
it. Daryl fucking Cates.
Where's
Biggest
Yakupov
name
right
AHL fucking coach out there on the market
Yeah.
was fucking Dallas Eakins. And I bet you Daryl Cates went, I want that coach.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Guaranteed. And honestly,
He wants. No, you
he's
can't
doing
blame.
worse.
You
He's
can't
doing
blame a
worse
guy.
than Claude Noel.
You can't blame a
Well,
guy.
no, Claude Noel doesn't have a job anymore.
You can't blame the guy for wanting to be the guy that brought the fucking team back to glory, you know? But at the
On
same
the flip
time,
side,
on the flip side, because at the end of the day, I mean, if you and I owned a hockey team, how involved would we be?
I would love to be highly involved, but when it came down to my drafting and signing of players, I would be reminded of one New York Islanders
Wong.
with a very enthusiastic and
Charles Wong.
I salute Charles Wong for being a true hockey fan, because you can tell he is.
Yeah.
But that is a prime example of you need to keep your fucking hands off.
Yeah.
This isn't fucking EA Sports. This isn't, oh, I just keep drafting the first overall.
It's a billion-dollar
And-
business.
Yeah.
You know, to them, that's what it is.
Mhm.
To us, it's a fucking hockey game. To them, it's a billion-dollar business, right? So going from the bottom of the barrel, let's reach to the top of the barrel and look at who's on top of the league at the moment, and that's Boston and St. Louis, both sitting at the top of the league with 111 points each.
Boston, I'm really not surprised. I think losing in the playoffs last year really did not sit well.
Stung.
Yeah.
They know they have a good team.
Yeah. St. Louis.
But that's Hitchcock.
Yeah.
That's Hitchcock.
Really not
I mean,
surprised actually that you think about it.
Yeah.
I want to see what they do in the playoffs here.
Yeah, because St. Louis is notorious for fucking blowing a tire in the playoffs.
Mhm.
First, second round. You know? And that's just the way that is, you know? And
Yeah.
so, I mean, Boston, yeah, you know, it depends. You know, you look at last year, Toronto gave them a run for their money.
Okay.
They gave them a
Oh, they
fucking.
did.
We can sit there and laugh about what happened, but at the end of the day, Toronto gave them a run for their money.
But
They
a
were
team-
down by 4 fucking goals going into the third period of Game 7.
Yeah.
You know?
But a team like Boston, the way Claude Julien runs his teams, you know they will never be allowed to forget that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And look at their record this season.
And I even think like a lot of those guys were around when they won their first cup there, a couple years back. But I also think bringing in Jerome McGinley, who by the way leads Boston in goals scored, he's second in fucking points on the team, and he's second for Flames fans. This is the kicker. He's second in the league for plus minus on the plus side. All right, like that
Well,
alone
when
is
you got Patrice Bergeron playing on a line with you.
yeah, for sure.
But still.
But this is what, you know, people were saying in Calgary for years. Put them on a fucking good line, see what
Yeah.
happens, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, but at the end of the day, no, I'm not surprised at what Boston has done.
Yeah.
You know, Rast is having an MVP type year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying just Vezina, I'm saying like team MVP.
Yeah.
You know,
And
they're
honestly,
a damn good team, but you
look at
watch
it
some of
right
those
now-
games and Rask makes some fucking crazy saves. man.
Playoffs go tomorrow. Boston will be taking on Columbus.
Yeah. They'll roll over Columbus. Columbus.
Pittsburgh takes Philly. That'll be interesting.
Pittsburgh and Philly, I could see being two teams giving them a run for their money. Only because of what happened last year would I say that they beat Pittsburgh. But at the same time, like you said, teams don't forget, man.
Yeah.
People don't forget. You don't think Crosby and them fucking want that second ring, knowing that Taves has one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Montreal takes Detroit. That'd be interesting.
Sure the fuck would.
Tampa and the Rangers. So Boston beats Columbus. Now they'll either face Philly or Pittsburgh. No.
If I would have written this properly, but the playoff format is actually a little different.
Oh, it's all different now.
It's all different now.
Disregard that.
Yeah, Boston would play Columbus. All right. Pittsburgh would play Philadelphia. And then Montreal and Detroit, Tampa, New York.
Yeah, so it lines up. Anyways.
Yeah. Woo! That's what happens, folks.
Boston's got a good team.
I lost my shiny medal over this.
I see them going deep in the playoffs, making a drive for the cup. I think they're the favorites to win it.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
No disrespect to Pittsburgh, but goaltending and defense questionable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tampa Bay, well,
They're doing well, but I don't think
Yeah.
so. I really don't think
the
so.
Rangers,
Boston would just beat them into the boards.
yeah.
The Rangers would be a good series.
Detroit would,
I'd really like to see Tampa and New York go at it, man.
yeah.
I'd really like to watch Tampa and New York go at it. Just because of what happened there.
Yeah, and honestly, with that issue there, with the St. Louis issue,
Yep.
as
Well, we can talk about
I'm
it.
a
Yeah.
Flames fan, and I hate Tampa Bay. But honestly, I would be rooting for Steven Stamkos and fucking Stevie Y to
Yeah.
fucking sweep the Rangers.
Yeah.
Not that organization for
Not-
their glory.
Yeah,
but
because
for
I'd
those-
like to see the Rangers
for
take
those
another
two
cup
guys to go, fuck you, man.
series. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah,
you know,
because
you
at the
saw-
end of the day-
you saw Stamkos in his interview. He was choked.
Yeah.
He was surprised he
He
pulled
was
that
upset.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was upset.
You could see that he felt betrayed.
Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck, man? Thought we were gonna give it one more hoorah.
Yeah.
And he demands out, and Stevie Y,
Being
We
the
all
class
know how-
act that he is.
yeah,
You know, lets the guy onto the Olympic hockey team after he fucking sat there and publicly bitched and cried like a fucking 2-year-old.
mm-hmm.
Alright? Like a little
Everyone
2-year-old.
thought on fucking Bobby Ryan's case for fucking chirping. He was pissed. At least he wasn't tearing up and choking up. He was pissed, ran his mouth, and
Crying
went
and going and asking for a fucking trade request.
yeah.
Like, you know what? Martin St.louis, you used to, I didn't like you. I haven't ever liked you. Since '04, couldn't stand you. Alright?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you had a chance with Tampa. And I mean, Tampa will still end up putting your number up there just because, really, what the fuck is a Tampa Bay Lightning history, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen. But right now, in Tampa Bay and all across the league, amongst players, brass, fans,
Yeah.
everyone is looking at Martin St. Louis like you're a fucking little chump, man.
Mhm.
You're a little rat weasel.
Yeah.
And this banter's head shake is for Martin St. Louis.
Yeah. A disgrace. I respected you for the points that you put up, for the trophies you won, even though it was only a half season.
We had 2 Art Rosses.
Yeah, but this past one.
Yeah,
you
the
know what?
last
I
one.
respected him for that, but now I really don't.
No,
You just.
no.
You got 2 years left. It isn't like he's just gonna walk away. So you ride it hard out. Like Tampa's clinched a playoff spot, I believe. Like they're sitting happier
Yeah.
than fucking the Rangers right now.
Yeah, they fucking clinched the playoff spot. They're doing their shit, man. And I mean, okay, again, I don't like Tampa Bay. You know, fucking
No.
stole something from us, and
But that's a disrespect to hockey,
yeah,
to the fans,
yeah,
to your good friend, obviously, and Steven Stamkos, and a stand-up hockey legend and a complete professional, Stevie Yzerman.
yeah. He's a fucking punk.
Yep.
Going to a group of punks. Let's flip over to the Buds there. You know, Canada's center of the hockey universe, or in their eyes, the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Toronto. Looks like you're gonna have to put that fucking parade on hold. All right, just till next season.
And they say, do you go after the GM? Do you go after the fucking coach?
Go after their captain. Speaking from fucking experience.
Exactly.
You want to talk
You
about
look at it-
poison in the fucking
Ron
room?
Wilson was there with Brian Burke.
Yeah.
Randy Carlisle with Brian Burke, and now Dave Nonis with Randy Carlisle.
Yeah.
Right? So those are 4 separate guys who are, you know what, Nonis is coming into his own,
Yeah.
but well respected as an assistant. And
As far as I'm concerned, though, Nonis is always picked up after Burke.
Oh yeah, but I mean he's respected in the hockey world, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the other 3 guys who are well respected throughout the league.
Yeah.
And
Oh. Folks.
who's been there this whole time? And you're correct. Their captain,
Yeah.
Phil Kessel. Lack of goaltending. Like, you know what?
Well, Jonathan Bernier, with all due respect, Jonathan Bernier has held
I'm
them
just
in a
saying
lot of
overall.
fucking games.
He has, but he's been injured a lot lately.
He's been injured a
Right.
lot. And, you know, that's where you look at James Reimer. James Reimer, as far as I'm concerned, is not ready as a starting goalie.
No.
He's just not.
No.
He's got a great attitude, but he's not ready as a starting goalie. All right?
He's got a lot to learn.
He's got a lot to learn, and you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell. You can just tell. Or with his play.
But
They gave him a shot.
It's these
and
core
it's just,
players, right? I say get them gone. Carlisle has a cup. None of these motherfuckers have a cup.
Yeah, yeah. And Kessel's a selfish fucking player, man. Like, you can see it in his interviews. When they talk about them missing the playoffs, he has a smile on his face.
Yeah.
As a fan, I wouldn't stand for that.
No.
Looking at some fucking guy taking $7 million, $8 million off my fucking cap.
Missing
so that
out
he can,
on Tyler Sagan.
Yeah. So he can sit there.
Hamilton.
Yeah, who's also playing on the line with fucking Chara, may I add.
And you know what? Sagan has issues in Boston, but
Well, fucking him and fucking Ben have hit it off, though.
look at them.
Yeah, they've gone.
So, you know
Buck
what?
wild.
Sometimes players just need to change the scenery.
Yeah.
Where they're required to play a main role and have the watch on them.
So,
Right.
Toronto, what the fuck happens? What do? Do you go and you cut your fucking coach's head off? Like,
Honestly, if I was management, I'd say no. I'd say enough's enough. You get what you can for Kessel. Enough.
go rebuild?
Not rebuild, but you get some of those core guys who've just been there and the selfish players. You know what? Loophole?
Yeah.
You move him out. Fucking Clarkson, really?
Yeah, he's
Really?
done fuck all for them this year.
Nazem Kadri's sounds like he's more of a distraction. Like,
Nazem
he's a
Kadri's
good
got
player.
a big mouth.
But honestly, like, don't trade him. But you get a different core in there, a leadership, a veteran presence,
Yeah.
right? So you keep Phaneuf, you take that C off his chest and you bring someone in.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. But yeah, I agree. The players, some of those players need to be chopped off, and some of them I can just tell are fucking cancers, man.
yeah.
Fucking cancers. There's 5 teams in the West that are over 100 points. Almost 6 with the Los Angeles Kings being 4 points away.
Yeah.
All right.
And who would have thought the Colorado Avalanche would be at 104 points
Yeah. No shit.
in 4th place?
Exactly. And with 4th place, 104 points in 4th place. Like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, man. All right. You got Chicago sitting there with, like, what does Chicago have?
103.
103 points in 5th place. All right.
Yeah.
So that's telling you how competitive the Western Conference is. All right. And I'm not trying to take anything away from the East, but in comparison, the Eastern Conference has 2 teams over 100 points in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh and Boston. All right. The West is almost at 6.
They've been powerhouses this year, and I think the Western playoffs are going to be the playoffs to watch.
It's going to be the playoffs to watch, because that's where some of the serious battles are going to come from. And you look at the last spot, just Dallas and Phoenix, all right? These 2 teams are battling it out for 8th. They're both tied with points, but I believe Phoenix has more overtime losses.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you look at Ben and Sagan, all right? They're
Well,
fucking tearing it up. And in Phoenix there, they have, I don't even know if Mike Smith is playing right now.
Fucking Phoenix is an anomaly. Like, there's no real superstars on there.
Yeah, fuck you, Shane Doan.
Yeah, fuck, ski on your feet.
Keith Yandel's alright, and Paul Bissonnette's fucking funny as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Giving
But,
you a
I
shout out
mean-
on Twitter, they're biz nasty. You better fucking retweet our ass.
They don't have Jerome McGinley's or Jamie Benz or
No.
David
No.
Krejci's.
Even the
guys like
Jonathan
that.
Tays.
Yeah.
No. And at
They
the
don't
end
have
of the
those
day,
players.
I don't know who's going to end up taking that final 8th seed It's really, it's hard to call on that one. You got a 50-50 shot pretty much.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I would want to see Dallas in there.
Yeah.
Over Phoenix. You know, just for the simple fact that Dallas has a history to them. You know what I mean? And when they're winning, their fans are into it.
Yeah.
When you guys are winning, you still have an empty building in Phoenix.
Yeah.
Alright? Till playoff time. They treat it like it's fucking MLB baseball. Alright? Empty stadium all season and then pack it full during the playoffs.
Yeah.
To make us think that, oh yeah, we deserve a team.
I agree.
Fuck.
Dallas all the way. Although they'd be in hard right now.
Yeah.
Taking on Anaheim.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting though. San Jose would take on Minnesota. I think they'd wipe the board. Colorado and the Kings.
Yeah, eh? Huh.
No, no, it's different. 'Cause
Yeah.
the first round,
You do
top
it.
in the leagues get
Okay,
the
so
first
St.
five.
Louis would play Dallas. Alright? Anaheim.
Yeah, I miss St. Louis. St. Louis would play
Anaheim would play
Minnesota.
San Jose because it's within division.
Oh, okay.
Alright? And, yeah, they'd have to go out of division for one of them anyways. Because LA would have to play somebody. They'd end up probably playing Chicago
Yeah.
and Colorado and Minnesota. Yeah, that's probably how that one would go. So Chicago, LA, first round. Ho. Ho, ho,
Dun,
ho.
dun, dun.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Yeah.
Now, let's just switch back to the East for a minute here. Because we got to talk about one Alexander Ovechkin. Guy leads the league in goals. Is worst in plus minus. Absolute worst in
He's
the
at a
league.
minus 48.
Unbelievable. Like, you score so many goals, and yet you're that much in the minus.
Yeah.
That's just not even
That's-
trying
no.
on defense, man. That's just not even trying on defense.
And I don't think Washington is brave enough to trade him.
Well, they're 4 points back out of a playoff spot right now. Do you think that they will make the playoffs?
No.
If they don't make the playoffs, you don't think they're brave enough to trade him?
No.
Yeah, I don't see him getting traded this season, but I think his days might be numbered if they don't win soon.
I agree they're numbered, but I could see them trading him for the first overall pick for Connor McDavid.
Yeah. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
But that's taking a big risk. You know, that Connor McDavid is going to be even half the player that Ovechkin's been.
But that's exactly it. Ovechkin's been half a player.
Yeah. All offense. All
Right?
offense, yeah.
So you even look at Jerome. He scored a shit ton of goals for the Flames.
So you think that Columbus is going to outplay Washington this last bit of games to claim that 8th spot then?
Yeah.
Columbus. Welcome to the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't be sniffing playoffs in the West right now. Just want you to know that.
Actually, they'd be tied with Dallas and Phoenix right now.
Yes, they would. They'd be sniffing playoffs. Fuckers.
Yeah. Whatever. As
But
long as they keep Toronto out, you're okay in my book.
the only Canadian team to have a playoff spot and probably end up in the playoffs is La Habitat.
They've clinched.
They've clinched.
I believe so. Yeah.
So, Montreal, congratulations on making the playoffs.
Yeah. US Prague.
You're going to be Canada's team. That's it. That's all. You know, there's no other fucking
And
Canadian
you know what?
team
Quite
in
honestly,
it.
I wouldn't mind if they brought the cup to Canada.
Well,